Oh yeah.
Guess who's back?
Oh
Back
yeah.
again. Guess who's back? Back again. Back again. Back again. Hey, why they be killing Little Kim for doing her dance like
Hey man,
that?
Cat need to lay off of Queen Bee, man. The cat need to lay off of Queen Bee. I'm about sick of this Queen Bee slander. I'm sick of it all. You know what I'm saying? I like I like little Kimberly. You know what I'm saying? Like she's an OG and she deserves some respect. Okay, she is GP status. Okay, I don't care what she looked like. That girl could dance how she wanted to dance. Okay, especially after that poster that she did back in 1996 with that lollipop. After that, she could do whatever the hell she wants. She got a free pass. Little Kimberly, salute to Queen Bee. Hold on, let me take my head. Salute to Little Kimberly, aka the Queen Bee.
Hey, listen, when you mention that poster, our joke stop.
Man, you know what? Can I say I'm mad at myself though?
Why?
Because me and my roommate back in college, I was still am a huge Tyra Banks groupie. You know what I'm saying? And I
Hey,
guess
I guess
Zoom like
Zoom.
it. Zoom likes it because they look, hey, hey, Zoom like yo, so I guess Zoom like Tyra Banks too.
Yo, Zoom. Zoom
Zoom like
like.
Tyra Banks too. But long story short, I'm a Tyra Banks groupie, and I had that Little Kim poster that I was just talking about, and
Yes.
I traded that poster for the Tyra Banks green swimsuit issue poster or whatnot. And while I'm not mad at that, I should have held on to that Little Kim.
You probably I would agree. I would agree you should have held on to the Little Kim
I
poster.
should have,
Man, because I didn't have a poster, but I had the album cover. And
dude.
boy,
I love my wife though.
boy. I mean, for sure.
Yes,
For sure.
let us move on.
This is the Zone Sports Podcast. Yes, 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 ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, your boy Big V. You see my guy over there, you know what I mean? The best co-host in the world. Let him know who you be, my
Yo,
G.
yo, yo, it's your boy COOL. Always wondering what the hell. It's your boy Corey. Never ever telling the same old tired story. It's your boy Cool C. As far as I know of, never ever dated a floozy. Yo, it's your boy Corey Big Vito. What's happening? Oh, my bad. I forgot. For those out there on YouTube, man, I got to sign up. I can't forget about the sign. You know what I'm saying? Got to sign up for y'all back. Big Vito, what's happening?
Man, I'm great. I am so great, bro. I'm blessed. Happy to be here once again, each and every week doing this thing. You know what I mean? The best sports podcast you never heard, ladies and gentlemen. We are here. Corey, how was your week been, man?
Man, you know what? It's been pretty good. Work's been all right. You know, my daughter is just she's doing daughteristic things, climbing on couches and just climbing on necks and kicking me where the sun don't shine by accident when I'm got her in my lap and even punching me where the sun don't shine for. I got that part I got figured out. Outside of growing situations, everything else is lovely, man. How about you?
I'm good, bro. Can't complain. Just been working as usual. Got some things coming up next month. Can't wait to talk about them when the time is right. But yeah, man. Yeah, everything is everything. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. You know what I mean? Each and every week, we appreciate y'all, you know what I mean? Bringing y'all that sports talk, how we be bringing it to y'all. And we going to jump right into it with some fresh out of K-Town news. You know what I mean? This is the only way to set the show off. You know what I mean? I know it's a lot of other things we could have got to, but when it's K-Town
I
big
like this
boy,
too.
you know what I mean? When it's K-Town big boy business news, we gotta jump right into it. You know what I mean? Yo, if you've been under the rock, and even if you haven't been under the rock, this kind of went under the radar right here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yo, K Town's finest Jerry Stackhouse is now an assistant coach
Man.
for the Golden State Warriors, ladies and
Pew,
gentlemen.
pew, 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 pew. Gotta hit him with the air horns on that one.
Yes,
Wow.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir,
Wow.
man. This is crazy because I didn't even know that he was up for a hire for anything. I know he had shifted doing some NBA TV stuff, if
Yeah.
I'm mistaken,
Yeah. Yep.
and even with this announcement, it was kind of quiet, Corey. The only way I heard of it was because
Okay.
I follow Jerry. I follow Mr. Stackhouse. You know what I mean? And I saw on his story he posted new office, and it was footage of him inside the Oracle. I was
Wow.
like, oh man. So then the next slide was a photo of him saying assistant coach for the Golden State Warriors. And I couldn't be happier, man. For those that don't know, I grew up watching Jerry Stackhouse play while he was in high school when I was just as the again as the Florida kids would say when I was a little jit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, when I was a lot younger, he was in high school, and my mom and my stepdad would take me to the games to watch him play. I grew up, and I still do to this day, idolize him. One of my inspirations. When I speak to him via DM, I tell him all the time, bro, you one of my inspirations. I love what you're doing. I love you. I hit him in the DM immediately when I seen that he was assistant coach here. Told me, yo, salute, keep being my motivation. Cause he is, man. Um, he's my motivation for several reasons, man. Coming out the same hometown as me, making it to the NBA, doing it on the highest level that you can do it at. First guy seen come through, pull up that right way. You feel me? If you know about Kents, you know about that right way or what
Yes,
you know what
sir.
I mean. He pulled up at the right way in the all white Bentley. You feel me? Come on. My mom was working at the right way at the time. She called me, yo, Jerry up here right now. I come up there, got the Bentley up there, something crazy. Everybody out there just looking. Man, this was early in the game. You need to know what a Bentley was. Um,
Yeah.
and he just lost his job at Vanderbilt,
Mm-hmm.
got fired, and this is the definition, Corey, of redemption.
Yes.
Coming from an NBA player, former NBA player, you took over a college team, try to do your best at that, even though you end up with a losing record, get fired, do some stuff for NBA TV, and now you're an assistant coach of the Golden State Warriors, man. Um, this is dope. I like this. I like this hire. Very excited for him. Salute to Jerry, man. All your new endeavors, man. What are your thoughts?
Man, you know what? You're talking about how you found out. I didn't find out until I heard this from you with the show notes a few hours ago.
Oh wow!
When I saw this, I was like, wait, what? Again? Jerry Stackhouse is doing big business again? But you
Again,
know, if you know anything about Jerry, and let me be crystal clear, I don't know him personally, just like you, Big V. I was in middle school when Jerry Stackhouse was at Kinston High. And when I tell you that during those couple of years, you can argue now, Kinston always had some ball players. Don't get that
of
part.
course, of course.
But Jerry was something different. And when I tell you that Friday nights in Kinston, when we had that home game, dog, you better get in there to watch the JV, or you better get in there by girls' halftime game. Because if you sit up here and you bull job around and you show up in there late thinking you about to just see varsity play with Jerry Stackhouse is playing, got news for you. You ain't getting in.
You ain't getting in.
It didn't work. It ain't work that way. And so it was box office. And we talked about Jerry before. And I'm going to reiterate just in case people didn't see the podcast from a while back. Here's how I knew Jerry was the man. He was playing in Kinston High. I don't remember who he was going against. There was some woman, girl in the stands, whoever, and she was like, "Dunk it, Jerry, dunk it." Everybody, she said it loud, and I'm like, "Oh man, now he gonna, he gonna play his game like, he ain't gonna do that." I'm talking about, man, the next daggone play. I mean, just straight up posterized this guy, and I was like, "Oh wait a minute, I'm out here saying he's gonna play his game. That is his game. That's
Yes.
he, dude. High school was nothing for Jerry Stackhouse, aka J Stack. I'm talking about, dog, and still to this day, he's the only high school player that I rode up on, or that my dad rode up on and got a signed autograph. I still have it to this day. Except
Mm.
that's how ill you want that again. We've had some players come through Kinston, but Jerry Stackhouse, you wanted an autograph. You wanted to keep saying because what you said, Big V, you knew this guy was going places. You knew he was. And you talking about the journey from Kinston High. And granted, if I'm not mistaken, he had to go to Oakview in Virginia.
Oak Hill.
Oak Hill, thank you. Parents, from what I hear, wanted to get him kind of away from the riffraff because he was a star. He was a freaking star in Kinston. I'm talking about, you could call it local celebrity. I'm taking the local off, and I just call it celebrity. That's how big Jerry Stackhouse was. They got him up out of there during that senior year. I felt like we was robbed, but you know what? Mama knows best. And Mama's decision choose to be super ooper duper wise to get him up out of there, if that's true. Jerry Stackhouse can confirm. I don't know. I just go off of what I hear. And then we want to talk about him being a beloved North Carolina Tar Heel. I want to talk about that for a quick second. When I tell you that I heard that he was going to be a Tar Heel, this is similar to Jesus coming back down to earth and taking us back home. That's how excited I was, Big V. This is how excited I was. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And I'm talking about every single Tar Heel game that was televised, I watched.
Every single one.
Every single one that I could watch, Big V. I mean, it was, and I'll never forget, ESPN did a comparison to him and can he be as good as Michael Jordan when he hit Jordan. And I know it sounds, I ain't gonna say it sounds crazy, but to understand why ESPN even did that, you had to have really been paying attention to the high school game.
You had to be there.
Like it is now, where a lot of games now are televised. You had to be there. And when they did that, I saw the comparison immediately. They wasn't tripping at all. And then you're talking about what he did as a Tar Heel. It wasn't a bad look at all for ESPN to make that comparison. This just shows how tough the NBA is, right? Because, I mean, he mostly ended up being a good role player, but I think had J-Stack been in better environments, better coachings, better teams, he could have and still should have been utilized a whole hell of a lot better than he was when he hit the NBA. But I get it. You throw in politics. Coaches got to win games. GMs got, all right, fine, whatever. But the point I'm getting at is that this guy's from the same hometown as we are. He went to the same daggone high school that we went to, all right? And then you talk about he goes to the NBA and plays for multiple teams and does what he does. Like right? Okay, and then let's go ahead and fast forward the NBA or whatever, and then he ends up coaching at Vandy, right? Hey, still a guy from Kinston, Big V. Still a guy from Kinston. The 252 Kinston High School Vikings, okay? All that stuff. It don't work out in Vandy. He's on NBA TV. NBA TV. And I don't care what nobody say. That's a deal to me. That's a deal to me.
He's on NBA TV with $3,500 suits on. And I'm lowballing the suits.
I'm probably and we talked about this last time, Big V. Cats was always like, why does Jerry Stackhouse wear a suit? And I read this in a column. And he always said, back in the day, mother really couldn't afford a nice suit. And I'm paraphrasing here. Couldn't afford the best of clothes and this, that, and the third, and really couldn't afford a good suit. And he said, whenever, and again, I'm paraphrasing, whenever I get the opportunity, I'm going to wear me a fresh suit every single day because his mother could not do it. And that is the way of honoring his mother. Come on, man. I'm trying not to preach today. Go ahead, Big V.
What a guy.
And then you go through all of that, and now he's an assistant coach for the Golden State Warriors. Take my hat off. If I took it off for Little Kim, I'm taking it off for you too, Jerry Stack. Salute, my brother. Anybody ever need a role model, no matter where you're from, but especially to my young brothers and sisters down there in Kinston, who you sitting up here thinking things are hopeless, they're not. You got to elevate yourself, you got to pursue, and you got to have the wit of stick-to-itiveness, if that's a word or not, okay? You got to keep going. Jerry did it. You could do it, bro. And he ain't the only success story, but he's one of the biggest ones, man. He's proud. I'm very proud to be a Kingstonian because of that guy.
Jerry, you know how I feel about you. We love you. We've been
Yep.
trying to get you on this pod forever. It's probably a done deal at this point now. You know what I mean? It was
He's
already
a busy man.
he's a busy man. You know, it was probably already a done deal, but now it's really a done deal now. But look,
Salute to Jerry
we still
Stackhouse.
love you on this podcast. Still my inspiration. One of my heroes, man. We love you, Jerry. Keep killing. You know what I mean? Salute. K-Town, you know what it is. You know what I mean?
Up. Yes, sir.
Corey, I'm here to tell the truth, Corey.
Yeah.
I'm here, Corey.
Yeah.
This subject has been bothering me, Corey.
Yeah.
It really has. This subject has been bothering me. You know, Kobe Bryant father passed away last week, as we covered on this podcast. And you know, I was just sitting around this week just thinking about when Kobe came into the league, got drafted in 1996.
Yeah.
And 13th pick to the Charlotte Hornets. A lot of people don't, you know, to the new age people, you might think that he was a Laker. You might think he was drafted originally to the Lakers, but he originally got drafted to Charlotte and was traded in the draft to the Lakers. And, you know, we here in NC, and a lot of my NC people, who, you know, back then and to this day, like to have the talk of what if Kobe would have joined the Charlotte Hornets in 1996-97.
Gosh.
Corey, I want to read off the roster. I have the roster here from 1996 to 1997. And this is let me see. This is the starting lineup for most nights. It was Muggsy Bogues, let me see, Dell Curry, Vlade Divac, Matt Geiger, and Anthony Mason.
Yeah.
That team also had Tom Chambers, Tony Delk, Malik Rose, Glenn Rice, and Scott Burrell. A couple of people, some of y'all probably watching this podcast. You may know if you're of our age. If not, you know, you probably never heard of these guys, right? And a lot of people always say, you know, I just wonder what would have happened if Kobe would have went to the Hornets, man.
Yeah.
Corey, I want to tell you what would have happened. Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing would have happened, Corey. Do you hear this roster? People want to talk about, oh, we would have had a chip if Kobe would have came. No, the hell you wouldn't have. You wouldn't have had no chip here in Charlotte Hornets with this roster. Do you hear this roster, Corey? You think you're going to get a chip with this roster? No, but no disrespect to Muggsy Bogues and Tom Chambers and Matt Geiger, but that's not getting a chip back then, Corey. That is not getting a single chip. And mind you, Kobe coming in 96 was not the Kobe from 2000 to 2001. He was shooting air balls coming off the bench. He was not doing what he was supposed to do. Go back and check the footage. It's out there. It is out there. He was stinking up the joint the first few years of his career. He was, and I love Kobe. Rest in peace. You know you're my favorite next to Michael Jordan. You know I love you, Kobe. You know that. But we're strictly talking about what the Charlotte Hornets would have done if they would have got their hands on Kobe Bryant. I'm here to tell you, nothing. Nothing would have happened. Would have been chipless like we are now. And that's it. He would have been dying to get out of Charlotte because they would have had no help. You're not getting no help. When Anthony Mason up here, rest in peace, he was about 49 and a half years old playing for the Charlotte Hornets then. Glenn Rice, he was decent, you know what I mean? But he wasn't the Glenn Rice with the Miami Heat. Let's be honest here. No. It wouldn't have got no chip or nothing would have happened. He would have been frustrated, I guarantee you, down there in Charlotte. Corey, what do you think, man?
I agree with you that Charlotte wouldn't have got a ship. Let me kind of confess that, people know I've shared this story before. I grew up being a diehard Charlotte Hornets fan. Like I had the Charlotte Hornets starter jackets, paraphernalia during the Alonzo Mourning, Muggsy Bogues, and Larry Johnson and Dale Curry era. And I mean, man, it was just something to be proud of. And I've always liked the Lakers, but I was like, nah, I'm like this stuff. You talking about like I'm 43 now, so you talking about like you could argue at the height of the Hornets. You could argue from maybe like 88, 89 to maybe like the mid 90s, where Charlotte was remotely decent.
Hey, real quick, I can see you right now in the backyard.
Yeah.
At the free throw line. Doing your lines on more than bullshit.
Dog. I used to love the Charlotte Hornets, and I still like the Charlotte Hornets. It's tough, right? Now, what would have happened? Nah, I'm with you. We wouldn't have got Charlotte wouldn't have got no ship. I don't know about all that. I think now here's what I do think. One thing I want to talk about is that why I quit being a Charlotte Hornets fan, and it's simple. They left. They went down. They became the New Orleans Pelicans, and they came back as the Bobcats. And it was just so difficult, even when they came back as the Hornets, to kind of shift my Laker fandom aside to be like, no, I'm all back in with the Hornets. And I think part of it is that had Kobe been the Kobe that we know and love, I don't think Charlotte wouldn't have moved at all. Like Charlotte, as the Hornets, officially left in 2002 at the end of the 2001 2002 season. And that was right during the height of the Kobe and Shaq era with the ships, give or take a few years on one side or the other. But I do think that Kobe would have been good enough to save Charlotte from even being moved to begin with. I think it would have been good enough to keep them from becoming the damn Bobcats because it wouldn't have been so. I think that more things could have been positive because the ownership that we had at the time, I say we as a former Charlotte Hornets fan, because I was a fan during that time, I think the ownership and the GM was decent. I do feel like though that when Lonzo left, wasn't a viable replacement. When Dale Curry left, wasn't a viable replacement. Even Muggsy Bogues,
Grandmama
replacement. We kept going through retreads as opposed to building in the draft. And Charlotte Hornets, and I know it's tough to kids watching this now. It's like, oh, the Charlotte Hornets, dude. Charlotte Hornets back in like 88, 89, again through like the mid 90s, was a really formidable team. Now the issue is that the few times that Charlotte made the playoffs, you ran into buzzsaws of the Chicago Bulls. You ran into the New York Knicks, who was decent with Patrick Ewing and all those guys. And so I remember
the Suns.
And getting bounced out in the first round, almost getting swept where we're shooting air balls. It was just really tough to watch. And so when the well ran dry, there was no replacement for it. And so we started going through a whole bunch of retreads or whatnot. And he kind of had it with Kobe Bryant. And I get it. Nobody, right, we can sit here and say it now. Ain't nobody knew what the hell Kobe was going to be during draft night. Ain't no way in the world. And now kind of pissing through this roster that you just brought up here. I don't know how much Kobe could have helped in those first couple of years, being they didn't lead to 2002. I feel like that Kobe eventually would have won it out. Just being honest. I feel like Kobe would have won it out and wanted to go to greener pastures. What it would have been, who knows? I mean, because let's keep it funky. We love Kobe and God bless the dead. He wanted out of L.A.
I was just going to say he wanted out of L.A.
There was rumors he wanted to go to Chicago.
He actually was on record saying, I want to be traded. He wants
to be traded. He wants to be traded, and ownership got their stuff together and made it work, i.e. Paul Gasol and Andrew Bynum, and we all know the rest of the story with that. So I think he would have, so the answer to your question, I think he would have been enough, at least at the time, to keep Charlotte from moving down to New Orleans. I don't think ownership would have changed. But I do feel like eventually he would have wanted out. Because we did not have, we being a North Carolinian, really didn't have the support like we did from the Dale Curry, Alonzo Mourning era. Because if I'm not mistaken, the Charlotte Hornets became a franchise, I want to say in like 1988, if I'm not mistaken. So the newness of even having a professional NBA team is only going to carry you but so far. And even having a trio of Muggsy Bogues, Larry Johnson, and Alonzo Mourning is only going to carry you but so far. And then when they leave, it's kind of like, well, Dad, but what are we doing? Because when they left, Charlotte became quickly unwatchable and non-competitive. Quick, really quick. And they just faded away. But whatever. That's what I think would have happened.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I know this ain't on the docket, but just thinking about Charlotte, I'm thinking about Grandmama has to be the worst nickname in basketball history, along with Tim Duncan, the big fundamental. Those are the worst two nicknames in NBA history, Corey. They got to be.
But you like the commercials of Grandmama, though, right? You like the commercials?
Fabulous. Absolutely.
Okay, so you just don't like the nickname.
I don't like when I'm referring to the Larry Johnson, the legend that he is, the bruiser that he was. I do not like referring to the grown man that he is as Grandma Mom. That's it. That's all I got. I don't.
He explained where that came from, but I can't remember. If someone's watching this, drop that in the notes because that he had a good. I think he had a really decent reason for it, but I can't remember what it was. But yeah, I'm with you. Like, you know.
And the big fundamental.
Well, yeah, now that's kind of. But you know what though? The big fundamental. I so think that fits Tim Duncan because he doesn't have. He's not outgoing. He's not boisterous. He's just a quiet assassin.
That's a better name. The quiet assassin. The big fundamental. That's up there. You want me to tell you them 3 worst nicknames? The claw for Kawhi Leonard. Get the hell out of here.
They said the man got paws, big hands. The claw. He's calling it up, big feet. Ain't mad at the claw, man. I'm with you on the grandmama thing, though.
No, I don't like the claw. I don't like the claw. It is overrated, just like him.
What about Kevin Durant's the Slim Reaper?
I don't call him that. We call him Easy Money Sniper.
Easy Money Sniper.
It's Easy Money Sniper.
Handle, but Cats was calling him the Slim Reaper once upon a time.
I like that better than Grandmama, the big fundamental, and the claw. I like them more than all the above. I mean, even Steph Curry has a better name than all of them. The babyface assassin. You feel me? Like, come on. Yeah. Like, that's what they literally call him. Like, hey, man. It just got me thinking about, the nicknames that, some of them, if you're good enough, you can garner. Like, Kevin Garnett is the big ticket. That's fire. He's the big ticket. That is fire. Hell,
big fundamental, Big V.
No.
Okay, we're going to take out X's and O's up here. That's what we're going to do, and we're going to learn the fundamental of basketball, okay? So when you got a player here at X at the top of the key, you run a player off the right side, weak side here for X over here, and then two points, basket, right there, the fundamental. That's not exciting. Me holding a piece of paper and drawing the play, the diagram ain't exciting to you, Big V?
I fell asleep with my eyes open. I gotta get your opinion on this, man.
Yeah.
You know how my mind is always wondering something crazy right now. And not even just right now, just in general. And I was thinking, because the WNBA had their All-Star game this past weekend. Salute
Incredible
to everybody.
Game.
Fantastic. Salute to everybody involved. Salute to everybody in the W.
Game is supposed to be played, fellas.
I couldn't agree more. Salute to everybody in the W for an amazing weekend. It got me thinking though. Who would win in a 3-point shootout, Corey, between Larry Bird, Reggie Miller,
Mm.
or Steph Curry. Who would win in that 3-point shootout, man? Who you got, Corey? Who you got, man? Like that's a tough one.
I was hoping that you was gonna take this question off the docket before we started. Because I got to admit my bias, especially when it comes to Reggie Miller and Larry Bird. Man, I mean, you talking about, if I'm not mistaken, Larry Bird won a damn 3-point contest without even taking off his warm-up jacket, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he wore that. Yeah.
I mean, but then you got Reggie Miller, Miller time. We talked about this before, speaking of biases, where we held Reggie Miller as the greatest 3-point shooter of all time. And Steph Curry kept saying, nah, yo, y'all bugging. Man, Steph, get out of here. The next thing you know, I started calling Steph Curry Jesus.
You
Jesus
did.
is the way, the truth, and the life. It's a running joke that me and my wife got because when Jesus gets bored, he infuses himself into Steph Curry's body to play basketball. That's what he does. That's why we call him Jesus. No blasphemy to all my Christians out there. But then we got Jesus, aka Steph Curry, aka the babyface assassin.
Special.
I cannot, due to the faith of my religious convictions, I can't go against Jesus.
Whoa!
Against Steph Curry. I can't. I just can't. This question is assuming that they're all in their prime, I'm assuming.
Yes.
It hurts my soul to say this because I feel like my answer should have been Reggie Miller or Larry Bird. I can't go against Steph Curry, bro.
I'm going Reggie Miller, big dog.
I'm not mad at you for that.
I'm going Reggie Miller. I understand this. Listen, this is a hell of a trio.
This is one of your best questions you probably ever came up with.
Man, I appreciate that. Because this is a hell of a trio. 3 strokers, pause. And a back-to-back shootout for the 3-point champion.
Gosh.
Can you imagine that? I'm only going Reggie Miller, just based off some of my bias. Even though I'm well aware that Steph is the best 3-point shooter in the history of NBA. I understand that clearly, but Reggie Miller is my favorite 3-point shooter in the history of the NBA. I never forget what he did at the Garden. I never forget that. I was watching that. I would never forget that. That would always hold a place in my heart, near and dear. Yes. I know what he did. And I know what he continued to do for the rest of his career. I'm going to go Reggie Miller. I love Larry Bird. I know what he does. The man wanted to keeping his warm-up jacket on. That's crazy. That's crazy. I used to have the handheld Jordan versus Bird one-on-one video game, you know what I mean, back in the day. And, man, if you got Bird, she was shooting it from everywhere on that little handheld.
The
automatic. I know what Steph does, babyface assassin. I gotta roll with my guy Reggie Miller though. I gotta roll with I call it Miller time, which is what a great nickname, by the way, which is better than the Claw, the Big Fundamental, and Grandmama too, by the way. You know what I mean? When people do this,
you already know.
You know what you know what it is.
I mean, the man has finally been in a Miller Lite commercial. I don't know if he's been in them before, but I don't recall. But maybe he has. I just don't remember. But he's finally like in a Miller time for Miller Lite beer commercial. Like he should have been in that. Maybe he was, and I just forgot. But someone could correct me in the comments below. But I'm not mad at that because that was the other person. Like I felt like my answer should have been either Bird or Miller. But man, I tell you, I don't think there's any wrong answers. I tell you what, man, I would love for NBA 2K25 to have it to where legends can enter the 3-point shooting contest. And I would just love to see like 10 simulations of these 3 guys in the 3-point shooting contest.
That would be
just
nice.
To see what well, first of all, what AI would say, but what we only AI we acknowledge is Allen Iverson. But
Absolutely.
what the computer would have them doing in like 10 or 15 3-point shootout, that would be magical, man. Gosh. One can
I
dream.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree, man. I agree. Shout out to everybody who be tuning in each and every week, listening to this great sports podcast, this sports talk. Whether you catching the clips on YouTube, Twitter, IG, however you catching the clips, man, we appreciate you, man. So much, so much, so much. Keep working with us, keep tapping in with us. You know what I mean? Corey, I appreciate you how, you know what I mean, as usual, how I do. And y'all know how we end this thing, right?
That guy.
Hey.